Hey, you guys. Welcome to this week's astrological forecast. So, uh, next week we have the full moon in Pisces, but we'll talk more about that later. But for this week, we have Mercury trine Jupiter. We have Mercury's kind of heading into his last degrees of Libra. We have Venus square Saturn. We have Sun opposite Neptune. And we have the Sun trine Pluto. So basically, this week is giving us an opportunity for um, thinking about what it is that we really want to create and bring forth, and the work that's going to take to do so, as well as just allowing ourselves to contemplate the idea of there being hope and movement and a positive shift. So, and it shows up differently for everybody, based on their own astrological chart. But in general, so these are the um, forecasts for each sign. So for Aries, I'm outside, so car just went by. Yay, little taste of real life. But for Aries, it's going to be a really interesting week, and where there's going to be almost like a spiritual undercurrent underlying of what you're doing or what work is happening. It's going to feel faded in a lot of ways, like things are going to kind of fall into your lap, and it's going to be hard to accept the good things because there's this belief right now where if you don't have to work hard and sweat hard for it, well, then it's just not meant to happen. But this week will kind of show you otherwise, that it is okay to talk the big talk, have the big dreams, and have things kind of fall in line seamlessly without it being all this hard work, all this like Sturm und Drag where it's like dark and tough and weird. Things can be easy, believe it or not. Just requires trusting and really like using your intuition. Like, that is an underutilized skill set. Taurus. So for you guys this week, it's going to be a whole thing where you have gotten caught into a certain kind of rut. And Tauruses typically don't mind ruts, but for you in this season, you do want change, you do want shift. And having this energy feeling of it's moving into a rut, like you need excitement. But the whole thing is, in order for you to make the next shift, you're going to have to be teachable. Like there's something you're going to have to learn. There's going to be some things that are going to be thrown in your way that you're completely unfamiliar with, that are going to require you to be vulnerable and to allow somebody to show you the way. And, it can just be a learning curve. It could be good or bad. Somebody might bring you back down a peg, but sometimes we have to be humbled in order to get to the next place. Gemini, I know that you guys are super, super frustrated because this whole year has felt like nothing but stops and starts, stops and starts. And you're ready for your life to begin. And I get that. And this year has really been about patience and knowing that every little thing you are doing is leading you to the next phase of your life. And this has just been a really steep learning curve for you guys. And this week is going to be a little bit more of that. But if you can hold on, you'll find, like in the beginning of next year, that all the waiting and hard work that you've done is going to just bloom in such a beautiful, glorious way. So in the meantime, try to find the pleasure in the patience. Try to find the joy and deliciousness and just holding on for the bigger, better things to come. Cancer. So you've had a really interesting summer where people have not been able to figure you out, and that is really cool. You have had a reverse rebranding, which means it's not even based on what other people see in you. It's how you see yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, what you want to create, who you want to be. That's where you are at right now. So for this week, what's going to happen is there's going to be a shift in the way that you value yourself, because you have spent the summer getting to know a new version of yourself. Maybe you've had to delve deeper into some family mysteries that you weren't quite sure you needed to. But this week is all about letting yourself be surprised by who you are becoming. Leo, the emphasis for you this entire year, this will be every, even into next year, weekly, monthly forecast is about partnership. People are not disposable. You can't throw people out. You can't treat people like trash. I think some Leos are used to there being a sidekick, and now there are none to be found. Or if there's a sidekick or partner that comes your way, they are going to make you work. They're going to challenge you. They're going to really show you how to be tough on yourself. So this week is really about leaning into being generous with others and what gifts you can offer. Also finding that sometimes there are certain seasons where you have to become the supporting cast member instead of you being the main focus or like the main character. So that can not always be fun. Virgo. So this week is going to be a lot of you coming to terms with things about your partnerships. You know, maybe you have not been really clear with yourself about the people in your life. Maybe you haven't really gotten to know who they are. Maybe a lot of your relationship has been you projecting your opinions and needs onto other people. So this week is going to be a little bit of a wake-up call around that, but it's not going to be tough. It's not going to be like a bad or like incredibly challenging thing. Another thing is you're going to tap into a sense of self-expression that really helps you feel authentic, that it's going to tap you into a passion and an energy and a verve that you didn't really know is kind of hanging out there underneath the surface. This is a good week to kind of lean into the things that give you pleasure, because it's really going to give you the boosts that you need to finish off the year strong. And we've got Libra. So Libra, my dear loves, you are very interesting. Like, I am super excited by the next couple of weeks, it being big Libra energy. It's going to be Mercury, Mars. We've got a lot of really interesting asteroids in Libra right now. So for Libras right now, you're really having this interesting renaissance that is going to be jarring to you and jarring to others, because you are not going to be reacting to things the way you did before. You can no longer be relied on to keep the peace or to make things pleasant. Libras, y'all kind of want blood right now, and that's okay, because you need to make the space and the boundaries to allow yourself to change and to evolve and to bloom and to grow. And the life that you've been living up until now, you've either had people rooting you on to be the baddest bitch you can be, or not comfortable with it. So this week you've got to figure out in your life who falls in what camp. Scorpio. So this year for Scorpios is a very, because fixed signs, a lot of dealing with the conversation about public image, about how you show up and how people see you, but more importantly, it's about kind of pulling yourself back in and taking care of like your metaphorical house. Are the roots good? Do you have termites in your house? Is it a firm structure? And right now you are seeing all of the flaws in the structure of your home. It could be physical, metaphysical, it could be the life that you've been building, but you're really starting to see the things that were done hastily and without a whole lot of thought. This week is when you're going to kind of start making the moves to make that shift in a loving way, even though you may want to beat yourself up or maybe blame somebody else for things not being the way that you want them to be. This is a week for you to take accountability for the life that you're building. Sagittarius. Sagittarius haven't had as much fun as they should be having. They've had a lot of things happening, a lot of things in their life just kind of dissolving along the way, or challenges, but especially stuff around like money and finances. But this week is going to reintroduce you, Sagittarius, into the concept of joy, of having fun for the sake of having fun, for embracing your community, for stretching your wings, for having fun, for expressing yourself. So just to make things as easy as possible, whatever doesn't feel like the biggest challenge in the world, you should absolutely do it. And also, your growing sense of ambition or the way that you feel about the work that you do is going to reveal the ways that you were not raised to be equipped to handle some of the changes that are coming your way. So this week could be a little bit of a crash course in healing your inner child as well. Capricorn, this is going to be the start of a big week for you and helping you move your ambition forward. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily expect to see any real changes until the end of the year in this respect, but you're starting to think differently. You're starting to look at your career and how the world sees you, and you might have to do some work to either strengthen your image, shift it. There's a bunch of different possibilities in that respect. So this week is really going to be about you doing any kind of cleanup or just the process of starting to do the cleanup. And this is going to be going on for the next couple of weeks. So let yourself be teachable and see how you might need a rebranding. Aquarius. So you have had a lot of career stuff that has been uncomfortable in the past, but for whatever reason, this year you've had to do some hard work, but things have also really opened up for you career-wise. But this upcoming week, you are going to be challenged with how people perceive you versus how you actually seem, and how you actually express yourself. You're also going to have to deal with some stuff that around restructuring your life in a way that is authentic to the person that you are becoming. It can feel like a lot of work, but you'll be fine. This is something you've actually been low-key waiting for. Pisces. So, this week, it's okay to accept the fact that you are nebulous to yourself and you are evolving as we speak. This week, you are going to really see the partners that have been supporting you all along, really rooting you on, hoping for you to have the best things possible. You also are finding deeper ways of connecting yourself and your traumas and your hidden secrets to your community. You're going to feel compelled to tell them some truths about yourself, truths that you are just now getting in touch with. Keep in mind, people do have to earn the right to know your story, but there will be empowerment in sharing your story with your community, and you'll see how it unfolds over the next couple of weeks as well. So, this is the last week before the new moon, which is on the 20th. This is a good week if you haven't done any manifestations, or if you do want to do manifestations. The energy of this week up until the 18th is going to be really good for you to kind of get things going and have things move along. I hope it's a beautiful week for you and you do the best with your energy, and that you are golden, magical, and wonderful. Blessed be.